You're listening to the Weekly Rant. And now, here's your host, Jimmy.
Now everybody, have you heard? If you're in the game, well then it's not the word. Don't take no rhythm, don't take no style. You got a thirst for killing, make your mind.
Alright, welcome back. This is our 45th episode. We got a very special episode tonight. This is the first episode where I'll be going live solo, but there's a little kick to it. It's not going to be a solo show tonight. We do have a special guest on hand, and if you've caught any of the previous episodes or maybe some of the interviews in the past, you'll see from the jersey hanging up behind me that we do have a special guest on hand is Antonio Grazzi from the Buffalo Finians. But for the time being, I hope everybody's weekend was good, and let me see if we can get going here. There we go. You, my friend, wanted this. Let's welcome in Antonio Grazzi. Woo! What's up, bro? Hey. See you again. So what's up, dude?
How have you been? I haven't seen you since May.
I haven't seen you. Yeah, actually, I haven't seen you since the game where you guys played against NYPD.
Yeah, it's been that long.
So what's going on? You've been busy this weekend, right?
Oh yeah, we had a championship tournament in Boston for North America, and we just got done playing that.
Awesome.
Competing in that.
So you're on the show now. I did an interview with you last time, and that went great. I thought it went well. There were a few people that actually did not like it. They must have been from overseas because they had some terrible comments towards me about not being able to pronounce Finians properly.
Fenians.
Fenians
is fine. They might pronounce it different over there, but
yeah, it's their
might
brogue.
Also be from the north.
It's their brogue, and then I got the New York in me, you know. So, but you excited? It's your first show?
Yeah. I mean, we had the phone interview, and I think it was lost though.
Yeah, that's
technical
right.
difficulties, so only people got to see it who actually tuned in live. Unfortunately, I would have liked to hear.
Oh, that's right. That was the episode we lost.
Yeah,
that's right. That was a good episode. But you know what? Let's jump into this. Now, if you've caught any of the shows before, basically what we do is go back and forth from topics before we get into them. So we'll start off here. This show tonight's going to be a good show because, as you know, the college football season just started, so that kicked off, and we'll get into that. If you want to follow up.
Yeah.
Do a title. Next one.
Then we're going to go to the Jets cutting an AWOL cornerback, Patterson, from their roster this week.
We'll talk about that. Bon Jovi, which I know Mr. Grazzi, he's going to love to talk about.
Yeah.
But Bon Jovi backs out of the deal with the Toronto group, so we'll talk about that as well. And then, obviously, we have you, so we'll talk about that.
Then we're going to talk about Jesus Montero's little episode in his minor league game with the Seattle Scout.
Now, I got to say this. Your hair is what makes you resemble Jesus. But are you aware that his name is actually Jesus?
Is it? Oh, am I not supposed to say Jesus?
You can call him Jesus.
Is it?
Hell, he had a beard, damn it. You can call him that if you want. That's fine.
Jesus Montero.
Jesus Montero, there it is. Tanaka, Masahiro Tanaka, we'll talk about him. There's not much news on him other than when is he coming back, but it does get a little bit interesting when Joe Girardi steps in, so we'll talk about that.
And then we're going to touch up on the U.S. Open, which a few of us will be attending tomorrow in Flushing.
That's right. And then about his team, the Buffalo Finians. Connor, he'll give me the proper pronunciation.
Pronounced differently in different regions of the country, probably.
And as is pronounced here on the show, Finians. So,
Correct.
We got that, and then we'll end with my rant. We got a good topic here.
Sounds good.
So, college football. Now, I don't know, are you big into college football?
I follow, yeah.
Yeah? Any particular team you follow?
Ohio State, UB. We follow UB close.
You like Ohio State?
Yeah.
Or you follow them, rather?
I like them. I'm a fan of Ohio State. I prefer to root for Ohio State than any other team.
And it's good that you said Ohio State because...
It would be Ohio State, whatever they're calling it now.
Well, yeah, right, the Ohio State.
Yeah.
And then you got to go back to last year, college basketball. Canton beat Ohio State in the first round as an upset.
They did.
And Canton came out with their paper the next day, the University of Canton.
The University
To mock
of
them.
They did that. They did. Yeah.
But it's funny you said
In
Ohio
my
State.
bracket.
They're ranked 5th, and guess who they beat? My arch nemesis, Navy. I'm a huge hater of Navy. Obviously not of the service, but of the football team, because I'm a diehard Army football fan. So the game was actually pretty close. I don't know. Did you watch any of it at all?
I didn't catch any college football this weekend.
That's right,
Hardly
you've been
any.
busy
I
as
was,
all hell, yeah.
Busy this weekend with.
So it was back and forth until the fourth quarter, when it all came down to a fumble and a touchdown, and next thing you know, Ohio State ran away with it. So that happened there. It is the first week, so you're going to get a lot of the games where there's, a number one is playing an unranked team who no one ever heard of, or anybody in the top 10, really. Except Clemson did play Georgia, so that was 12-19. But another one of the games I want to talk about is Texas A&M.
Yeah, I heard that quarterback,
Kenny Hill.
Kenny Football.
Kenny.
Gonna call him,
I like that. We can call him Kenny Football now. The new Kenny Football. He throws 511 yards. He was 44 of 60, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, 73.3 completion percentage. I mean, the guy was absolutely insane. And the reason why I bring it up is because, as you said, Kenny Football. Well, he just crushed Johnny Football's record back there. So
and that wasn't a Division III school they were playing. They were playing South Carolina.
yeah, who was ranked number 9, and that's
country.
where I think that's where Clowney came from.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're obviously going up against a team that can play very well defense, very well, very good, very well.
Sound defense, tight
Sound
defense. The bend and don't break.
So and obviously Buffalo, your boys.
Yeah, they pulled one out. They beat Duquesne. 38-29, I believe. 28.
38-28. Yeah.
38-28. Yeah, and they got past their opener. So we'll see how they go. They lost Mac. They lost a few other guys this year. So hopefully they can overcome those losses and bring in some new guys to fill those holes.
Right. Now, one of the other games that I want to mention is USC. I briefly touched on this last week about Joshua Shaw, and more news has happened since then. But USC just opened up their season, and they're a prime example of a ranked team playing their first game of the season. They played Fresno State. USC is 15. Fresno State is nothing. They crushed them 52-13, and they're obviously not missing 2 key players. And they're key players because Joshua Shaw is their senior cornerback. Now, he was suspended indefinitely. First, he was injured because of his broken ankles, or his high ankle sprains. And that story, which I praised him on last week, I praised him to the high heavens for what he did, which was, his story was that he jumped off of a second-story balcony
To save his nephew.
to save his 7-year-old nephew who couldn't swim. So, and the story seems so fitting because of his character and how he's, looked upon, I guess, from others. The team themselves, they say he's one of the most class-act people they've ever met before, They talked him up. Well,
But the thing is with that, if you injure yourself doing something you're not supposed to be doing on scholarship, and
They
you're
have to
gonna
do an
lose
investigation.
You're going to lose your scholarship.
sure.
You
Sure.
know, so if you make some story up like that, maybe you're trying to get off the hook.
Can you check to make sure that the camera's recording for me? So he injured himself. He had the 2 ankle sprains. Okay. Now on top of that, you also got Anthony Brown.
Yeah.
Now Anthony Brown is one of their running backs, their top running backs, and he came out and he called the coach a racist.
Yeah.
I don't know where that came from. The story wasn't around or nothing, other than he quit. Don't touch that. It's touchscreen.
Not touching it.
So yeah, he came out just basically calling the coach a racist. The time is ticking up, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So obviously they didn't miss them because that game the Trojans racked up 712 yards. They had no punts. They didn't punt a single time. Scored every possession. Ran 101 plays. And this was Sarkisian's head coach. It was his first game with the team. So that was great. And their next game is actually a tough one. Finally,
Stanford.
Yeah.
Right off the bat.
They're at Stanford.
At Stanford right off the bat.
So, now that your season, which we'll get into, has come to a close, you're going to follow more up on football.
Yeah. We just the opening weekend of college football always contradicts with our championship weekend, so we were pretty busy. We try to catch some games here and there, but if we're out at a bar or something, we'll catch a game maybe at night. But if we're busy and winning, we're not at the bars. We're sleeping.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you. All right, so I want to get into how we got to call it here. Hey, you're on the air with Jimmy with the Weekly Rant. What's going on?
Yeah, Jimmy, I know this is a sports show, so I just want to call in a fishing request down from Cape Canaveral, Florida.
and who's this on the air right now?
This would be Kingfisher 1. Kingfisher 2 is sitting over at the table over there. And Kingfisher 3 is on the iPad watching the show right now.
Excellent. Excellent. What's your fishing update there?
We went out of the Blue Heron today, out of the State Marina, out of Cape Canaveral. Left at about 7 a.m. Encountered some little rough weather on the way out, but got out to the fishing grounds in about an hour and a half, hooked into some king mackerel, and we had a few snooks. We had a good time out there. We also hooked up with another partner that got some fresh bait. And once we got the fresh bait, we started getting topwater hit. That lasted for about an hour, and then we went down to some bottom fishing. We emailed you some photographs of how we did. We tied into a 40-pound red snapper.
Holy crap!
We were bottom fishing, which is a really nice fish.
Jesus.
Overall, it was a really good day. Right now, as a matter of fact, we have some shark kebabs and some grilled kingfish cooking up right now for dinner. So nothing went to waste after that fishing trip.
We don't have that. The food we have in the studio right now are chicken meatballs and kielbasi.
Well, if you were down here, you would be feasting on some shark kebabs and, like I said, some grilled kingfish with a nice little marinade that we have going and some fresh eggplant parmesan on the grill.
Was Moby Dick in the water?
Moby Dick was someplace else. He was not in the water today.
All right, excellent. What about Loch Ness? Did you get a glimpse of Loch Ness today?
No, however, we did see some giant manatees who were at the dock when we were cleaning the fish. And I learned something new today, is when you take a hose with fresh water and spray it into the water, manatees come up and open their mouth like a drinking fountain.
So, yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, I did email some photographs up to you so you could put them up on the show. I will check your email on that.
I'm gonna post those pictures up. I will. Well, Mr. Kingfisher 1, this is King Rant 1. I appreciate the phone call.
Okay, and hello to your guest there, Mr. Grosky.
Oh, thank you.
Good luck in the game up in the Philo, and hope
Thank
to
you.
see you soon.
I'll see you soon, hopefully, sir.
Excellent.
All right.
Thank you very much. Enjoy.
You gentlemen have a good night. We're going to enjoy our text now.
Excellent. Thank you. Appreciate the call. Never hurts to get a nice fishing update. That was awesome. I mean, come on, you got to see Moby Dick, right?
Yeah, I think it's par for the course, you know, you got to. It's got to be done.
It's par for the course, yeah. All right, so we'll jump into the Jets here now.
Hate the Jets. So I
So
just
do I.
want to say that.
Now, I lost a couple of bets this year. And, yeah, we do have a studio audience, by the way. Say hello. Woo! Hello.
Hello!
So,
Hi, Kingfish 1.
I demanded a live studio audience for my appearance.
and to which we got one. So, yeah, so the Jets, anyways. So, one of their cornerbacks, who was supposed to make the team and be a starter, being Demetrius Patterson, he went AWOL. He was gone for a couple of days, and no one heard anything. No one knew what was going on, and Idzik came out saying, he's fine. Basically trying to cover up for anything coming out in the news.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they say that he's being suspended for the rest of the season. Or at least, I'm sorry, for the rest of the preseason. He said this, she said that, back and forth, and now he gets cut. And we find out that apparently there was no communication. One party says that Rosenhaus, his agent, contacted the team and said, yeah, he's not going to be there for Friday's game. And apparently that's not what happened. So they decided to let him go. And again, I know, like I said before the show, I know you're obviously big in the Bills and not much to say here, but do you have any take on...
I'd imagine some falling out with the coach behind in the locker room or something. Something had to have been said.
And that's what came
Behind
out.
the scenes.
He wasn't happy with the depth chart, apparently.
Well, that's his problem then, you know. Depth chart's not his decision, it's the coach's. If he's not happy with that, then maybe he shouldn't be playing football.
All right, and then apparently he met with Idzik and Ryan to explain his position on, what happened here. Now, after he had claimed that Rosenhaus had contacted the team, they actually released a few other players. They released Darryl Richardson, Alex Green, Taj Boyd, and Matt Sims. Matt Sims, who actually proved to be quite a valuable asset to the team, because if you have two quarterbacks being Geno Smith and Michael Vick, he can't stay healthy. So, most teams actually do carry three quarterbacks. Now, I don't know if it's going to be, we're going to cut you, you're going to go through waivers and we'll claim you play on a practice squad or what, but when you have a quarterback like Vick, especially being a backup, why would you not carry three quarterbacks? And especially utilize Sims, who had a phenomenal preseason.
With these new scrambling quarterbacks, you'd have to carry three. They're more susceptible to injury, scrambling out of pocket, and especially if you have two. If you don't have three, you're picking guys off the grapevine in the middle of the season. You're not getting the cream of the crop that you have or had. Yeah. It's just, I don't know, it's bad.
No,
I like these pocket QBs. I like old school pocket quarterbacking.
Now, one of the more notable cuts the Jets have is actually I was on the phone with John from Florida, constant caller for all our shows. I was talking to him last night, and he proved a good point that I want to reiterate here, is that the Jets drafted Stephen Hill. The Jets drafted Stephen Hill as their second-round pick in 2012. And like I was speaking with you earlier, is where he came from. He came from Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech. And that is one of the only three teams that run the triple option. Mm-hmm. The other one being Army and Navy.
Yep.
Now, why you would waste? Now, they actually traded up to get this pick.
This guy.
And now, why would you go after a player as a wide receiver with your second pick? Now, keep in mind, you have at the time Mark Sanchez and Geno Smith as your quarterbacks, both of which have never proved themselves. And don't give me the crap about the Jets making the AFC Championship twice. I don't care. All right, and every Jet fan will back that up. Mark Sanchez looked okay then, but no. All right, let's cut that out. So, anyways, Stephen Hill coming from the triple option offense. Why would you waste a draft pick on that?
Especially
his last year before he got drafted, he only touched the ball 8 times.
Yeah. 8 touches.
That was it. And I don't know what they said that they liked his speed, they liked his size, and 2 years later you cut him.
Yeah, I hope that scout's fired. Or actually, I don't hope he's fired. I hope he's still making those horrible picks in the future.
Yes, but that was Woody Johnson who took him in.
Yeah. I mean,
maybe they thought
mind-boggling draft pick.
Maybe they thought after the 3 years prior of having, or 2 years prior of having Mark Sanchez as the quarterback, that in order to make him better, you need a better wide receiver as well.
The Bills have had a lot of misses at wide receiver too. It's tricky. It's hit or miss. Unless they're far and away talent, you can't waste a high pick on them.
Well, you got E.J. Manuel, and I don't think E.J. Manuel is that terrible, to be honest with you.
It's still early.
It is early, and now he has Sammy Watkins. Both of them are young. To be quite honest with you, E.J. Manuel, he's still learning the system.
He is.
Okay? Obviously, Sammy Watkins is clueless. He's got to learn the whole system himself. Do you think that they'll have some sort of a chemistry just because they're both a year and a rookie in the league?
I'd like to think they would. I remember J.P. Lossman had a chemistry with Lee Evans right off the get-go when they both came out the same year. So hopefully they can get it clicking, at an early age where they can keep it going for a while.
And is Spiller coming in healthy?
Young. Spiller's healthy. CJ's healthy. Freddie Jackson's healthy. So hopefully, just I don't know what they got to do to turn the corner though.
That's true. That's true. Well, we won't get into the Bills.
No, thank you.
But we will get into Bon Jovi. Getting to Bon Jovi now. It just came out last night about 11 o'clock that he is backing out, not of the deal. He's actually backing out of being partners with a Toronto-based group that wants to bid on the Buffalo Bills.
Tenenbaum from the Maple Leaf Sports, and
then you have Rogers.
Yep.
All right, now he's got to be affiliated with the Rogers Center, though.
Yes, he is.
Okay, because he has the whole Rogers Sports Entertainment.
Rogers Communications.
I'm sorry, Rogers Communications. It's Tannenbaum who has the Maple Leaf Sports Entertainment. So now Bon Jovi was leading this group.
He was.
Okay, he was their head, and it was the three of them, and then a couple of doo-doo-doos behind him. Now, being that Bon Jovi was leading this group, he was to front 30% of the buying price, whatever that may be.
Control the team.
Right, exactly. And then Tannenbaum and Rogers would pick up the rest, and so on and so forth down the list. Now, he backed out because when he found out that the buying price was going to be around $1 billion, that's not going to happen because Bon Jovi's net worth is there of $300 million. Well, guess who got word of that? Pegula.
Yeah.
Pegula, the oil tycoon and the Buffalo Sabres owner, gets word of that and says, you know what? Let me put the thorn in their side here, and I'm going to bid $1.2 billion.
Yeah.
You're out. So, Bon Jovi had to leave that group. Now, that doesn't mean to say that the Toronto group is not going to still go after them.
They could.
Because they feel that they have more power without him.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was kind of holding him back just because of that 30%.
Right. He said, I'm only worth this amount, and this is all I can do. And they knew that he wanted to be the lead guy, so on and so forth. So the max group bid that they could have put in was $1.1 billion. Pegula steps in, and he gives out the $1.2 billion. He can, and most likely, will go more. He's absolutely willing to. He's already admitted to that. I'm sure the city themselves want this to happen, and then also will hopefully take the key away from Terrell Owens and give him the key to the city.
Right.
That'd be nice.
It'd be an ideal fit with him already owning the Sabres. The work he's done in the city already with the Harbor Center. You'd hope he maybe get a new stadium built downtown, but
was he affiliated with building that sports complex between the new Marriott and the
100%.
city there?
That was all.
We got another caller. I'm sorry, Antonio.
Yeah.
What's going on? You're on the air with actually Antonio here and Jimmy, the Weekly Rant.
Jimmy, this is Dan from Florida. I was
Hey.
wondering what you think about that young quarterback from Washington Redskins at McCoy. He looked pretty impressive the other night when they had him in. So if you could give me a little feedback, what you thinking about him there?
Are you talking about Colt McCoy?
Yeah, the youngster they had in the other night quarterbacking.
You're talking about Colt McCoy. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, now,
Yes.
Colt McCoy, I believe, was the backup for the Cleveland Browns last year, was he not?
That I'm not sure about.
I'm pretty sure he was. I don't
he
think.
was.
Yeah, I think he was. I don't think they're going to give him a spot. He'll take the roster spot. He's going to make the 53-man roster. Obviously, they're going to use RG3. He's going to stay in there. There's been no negative feedback from Dr. James Andrews, who's been watching out for RG3's knee, which he injured a year and a half ago.
Who's his backup?
Who's
RG3's backup.
Well, it might actually now be Colt McCoy.
Okay.
What's your take on Colt McCoy? What's going on? What'd you bring that up for?
Well, when I watched the game the other night, they put him in. He drove the team downfield like 3 different times, back to back, like just incredible. He was very, very impressive.
Yeah, no, he definitely looked good.
He really struck me as upcoming.
Yeah, no, I did watch that game. I just want to see whom they played there, because I forget. But let's see, they played Tampa Bay.
They played Tampa.
Yeah, they played Tampa Bay, who, by the way, I think has the best jerseys in the NFL right now. I love their new jerseys.
Hideous.
I know, everybody says they're hideous. I do love them.
Hideous.
So, all right, so you watch that game, and there's a good chance that you're not going to catch a lot of Tampa Bay games because they're going to have a lot of blackouts, as you will with the Jacksonville Jaguars. But
Oh, yes.
But yeah, now, I mean, did you watch the game because you're a fan of the Buccaneers or you're a fan of the Redskins?
No, I've been watching the Redskins off and on, and I was waiting. I heard the quarterback went there at McCoy. I watched them last year once or twice, and I wanted to see if they were going to put him in and how he did, and I was very impressed with him.
All right, well, what happened with him was he did throw for over 300 yards. He had the 2 touchdowns, but he also had the 2 interceptions. And that's one thing they're gonna watch out for, because now I don't believe he started. Yeah, no, he did start the game. Okay.
Played the whole game.
Yeah, he played the whole game. Yeah.
You gotta remember, he's also playing guys who aren't even gonna get a whiff of NFL playing time in their careers.
Yeah, I mean that's one thing. I'm glad you brought that up because they did have the cuts this Thursday, so Colt McCoy did not play against a lot of the starters, and to go off and throw those 2 interceptions against your B line and C line, and now it looks like a couple of practice squad. They're definitely going to go with Colt McCoy. I mean with RG3 and I'll double check. I'm pretty sure Colt McCoy made the 53-man roster, though.
Oh, cool. That I didn't know. I'm pleased to hear that.
Yeah, I mean, they wouldn't have...
By the way, do you know who you're talking to?
Yes, I absolutely do. I absolutely
Oh,
do.
good for you.
Now, you went fishing this morning with our previous caller, Kingfisher 1, right?
Yes, this is Kingfisher 2 here. I wish you could have been with us.
And I know, I wish. I got to get down there soon because the last time I went down there with you guys, I had a ball. We were fishing underneath the, what was that, the US 1 bridge right there?
Yeah, the beneath the causeway we were.
Ah, that was phenomenal. That's when we saw the three manatees making love to one another. That was a pleasant wake up to the morning.
Yeah, big sea cows.
Oh my gosh. Well, I appreciate you calling in, and it's great to hear from you. And I'm definitely gonna get down there soon because now that my father's down there, I'm quite jealous that I didn't get a chance to go.
No, you're more than
Sounds
welcome
lovely.
anytime, James. We'll do all the fishing we can do when you're here.
Excellent, excellent. Well,
My Teresa misses you, and can't wait to see you.
I miss you guys too. Hope all is well. I appreciate you calling in and watching. Thank you very much.
Your show's awesome, buddy.
Thank you,
Great
thank
time.
you. Take it easy.
Okay, bye-bye.
Well, that was nice to have him call in. So that was our second fisherman there.
Yeah.
So now all we got to wait for is the meat to call in. That's it. And we got
Exactly, yeah.
So all right. So we'll jump back to Bon Jovi here now. For a reason, obviously, I want you to not be so harsh right away because I want you to save that. But you know, this is your hometown.
I don't think Bon Jovi went about it right. He just didn't go. He didn't go about it right. He didn't go about it right at all. He just did things differently. He wrote a letter in the paper to the fans of Buffalo, promising to keep tradition for the Bills for years to come. But he doesn't make any guarantees about relocating the team to Toronto, which his ownership group was looking into doing at the same exact time that letter came out. So you have him saying one thing and his group doing another thing, and I don't know. He just didn't go about it the right way, and I think he just alienated a lot of people in that area.
Yeah. Now you also have Donald Trump, who wants to still keep his eye on this here at least.
There is no way the NFL owners are going to approve Donald Trump to own an NFL team, though.
And you know what? That resembles how
You don't
Mark
sue
Cuban
the league.
wanted to get involved and buy the Los Angeles Dodgers, and they wouldn't allow that either. I don't know how they actually get approval for that to deny someone, because would it be a majority voting from other owners?
2/3 majority owner approval to accept an owner, and you don't sue a league for antitrust back in 83,
Well,
84, whenever you sued him with the USFL.
right.
They remember that.
Now with Bon Jovi, he's actually been in contact with the investment bank Morgan Stanley, and they're actually helping him seek other backers.
Yeah, I think that's a waste of time and resources for this sale.
It is, because once they see, now it's obviously publicly known that he's only worth $300 million. I don't say only. I mean, I'm only worth 1.5, but still, you know, being only worth $300 million, who's going to step up? Who's going to want to front? You know, that's going to have to be a major corporation and then some.
His only claim to fame is being friends with Bob Kraft. I don't know what
So he's friends with Bob Kraft, and he wants to buy
makes
the
this
Buffalo
guy
Bills.
feel like he can be an owner of a team.
That's like a
Any
stab in the
team.
back to him, though.
I know, any team, though. I don't think the guy's qualified to own a team. I don't know if you have to be qualified to own, but
It's almost like a publicity stunt that he wants to get involved, being his relationship with Kraft.
yeah.
You know, come on now. Come on.
Realizations and reality and fantasy are two different things.
So this weekend. This weekend was a busy weekend for you.
Oh, it was, yeah.
All right, so let's get into this. Now, you were talking to me the past couple of days that you had a couple of big wins. You had a big win up against Houston was your first match.
Houston was our first match, 8 a.m. on Friday.
Right, and then you followed that up with a victory against Cleveland, I believe it was?
Charlotte.
Charlotte, right.
Who didn't play a game beforehand and was well rested.
So, for those of you out there, Antonio Grazia here plays for the Buffalo Finians, a Gaelic football organization in the North American
County Board, yep.
That's it. Now, what was the results? You won the first game against Houston. Did you have your full team there?
We didn't have a few guys there. We were missing about 3 guys that would have helped, but we had a squad there that could have done the job. We beat Houston and Charlotte to get to the quarterfinal on Saturday morning, and we lost a close game in Philadelphia. Some things didn't go our way, and we missed our opportunities, and we lost by a couple points, 3 points at the end.
I just want to interrupt here and say that Mario, who you know, he's been on the show a couple of times before. He's playing my new Xbox One Madden 15 and had to play very similar to what you've known and what you will know as the Buffalo Bills themselves. Unsure if he wants to leave the end zone or not on a punt, and gets crushed at the 1 yard line. And now he's going for oh no! Come on! Come on! He just ran 60 yards with CJ Spiller. That is not what you're going to see from the Bills this year.
It's even
Eat it,
frustrating.
James.
Oh my God!
It's even frustrating to watch that team on a video game. It really is.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. All right, so I'm sorry. I had to interrupt that. All right, so unfortunately you guys lost, and this
Yeah.
was basically your season finals, right?
Yeah, it was championship weekend. Yeah,
And when are the finals? Were they today or are they
all
tomorrow?
the final games were today. Sunday is always the finals, and
Not because of the holiday weekend they wouldn't extend anything for Monday?
no, they don't. They usually
Travel
wrap up
time?
on Sunday, just for travel time and stuff like that.
Right.
Sunday is always the final for all the sports: hurling, camogie, which is women's hurling,
Yeah,
men's and
hurling
ladies
is-
football.
It's incredible. I actually watched it when I met with you, and actually when I met with you, it was you, Connor, and it was Jack's father.
Yeah. Paul.
Padre. Everybody was there at the bar that we had gone to in the Bronx, and as I'm walking out, they actually had it hurling on TV.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what the hell it was. It looked like a cross between field hockey meets lacrosse
Yeah.
meets I don't know. And God, that's a
It's
physical
fast sport.
game.
It's physical. It's fast. You got to be careful with those sticks. Those guys are nuts. I don't see how they do it.
Yeah, it's like full wood sticks. It's actually just like when the Iroquois in lacrosse, they had like the World Championships actually. And I watched USA play the Iroquois, or Canada play the Iroquois, and there are two guys on the Iroquois team that use the old wooden sticks.
Yeah.
They're allowed. And apparently they're 5 pounds heavier than the average stick, which pretty much makes them 5 pounds.
Yeah.
And when you get hit with that, it's brutal. But even the same thing with these hurling, are they wood or are they graphite?
They're a wood, just solid wood, and the ball is about the size of a baseball, same weight, but it's just a little softer skin on it, and those balls go far. Those boys can knock
Yeah,
those
they
balls
launch
60
them.
meters,
They
70 meters.
launch those things, man. You know, it's nice to see these sports come over here, and I wish they would, gain more publicity, or lack of a word I'm looking for here.
New York's got about 80 clubs down here. It's they're big with
For
the
hurling.
children, for football and hurling and youth. It's big. New York's a place to come if you're coming over from Ireland and looking to play.
You know, I'm going up to cover the event the match that you guys are having at the NYPD. I covered the
Yep.
first one back in May. I think that was on the 21st. I think it was.
Yeah.
But when I go up there, one thing I want to talk to Connor about, I'm sure he would know. Unfortunately, Padre, your team pro, he's not going to be there. But one thing I wanted to talk to Connor about was you guys are actually playing with against NYPD, and I wanted to know if you guys have any plans to play the FDNY.
Yeah, we're looking into that too. We were trying to contact them to play them too. Hopefully next year we'll be able to go out there and play the fire department this year or next year. That'd be great too. It's those teams both play for charities every time they get together. They play each other once a year, and it's for charity, and they raise a lot of money for the charities they donate to.
Yeah.
When they play other clubs, it's usually for fundraising purposes. Like this will be a fundraiser for us coming up here at the end of the month.
All right, that's good. All right, so moving along from that, let's talk about your most religious figure you know, Jesus Montero.
Jesus.
Jesus Montero. We'll talk about him. He's
Sounds like an idiot.
yeah, let me tell you, he is an idiot. But my appetite is similar to his, as he loves ice cream sandwiches. Now, he was actually brought up through the Yankees farm system and played a couple of games here and there.
Top
but
prospect, right?
and he was actually involved in a big trade that, now it's tough to say who really made out in the deal because that trade involved Michael Pineda,
Yeah.
who everybody knows is a pine tar in the neck, or the tar pine, whatever the hell I was just going to say. But the pine tar in the neck, the guy can't stay healthy. He's been injured for 2 years.
Yeah.
Finally, his past couple of performances, he's been out there, no hit ball for 5 innings, 1 hit ball 6 innings, 3 hits in 7. He's showing what everybody expected him to show. Now, if he can stay healthy and hopefully the Yankees can make a run, would that move him up to, 2-3 starter and possibly utilize him in the first round? But who knows if the Yankees will even make it.
How far back are they?
They are 7 games back, I believe, now.
What's the
So, and they're
odds of,
3.5 back of the second wild card.
Okay, so they're still in the hunt.
They are, and this weekend they're playing Toronto. This is, and they lost today. So they got to win. So it might be 4 games back now,
It's a
actually,
big
4.5
series.
actually.
It's
Yeah.
a big series then.
But Montero. So as I wrote here, that Montero basically goes on a season-long diet. Apparently, what had happened was he got into a fight with a scout.
Seattle Scout.
It's a Seattle scout, right? Because he was playing. He was on a. He was trying to fight back from a strained oblique. So he was down on assignment in their AAA squad.
Yep.
And apparently one of the scouts sent him down to the dugout a ice cream sandwich.
Apparently, though, beforehand, the scout told him to hustle back to the bench.
Oh, so it was
A couple innings
basically
before, so it was like a
Wow.
prolonged deal. The scout told him to hustle back to the bench, and then maybe an inning later, I think the scout sent him a. After they got into a heated argument at that, I guess the scout sent him down a ice cream sandwich. I would have ate it. I would have said thank you.
Now the question is, did he eat it first and then start the
No,
confrontation?
I guess he.
I mean, you can't let the ice cream sandwich melt.
He threw it at him. He threw it.
Oh,
at
he
the
threw it
scout,
at him?
And he went after him, and I guess their batting coach had to restrain the guy from going.
No,
up
no,
in the
yeah,
stands.
they went at it, yeah, absolutely. So that's now he's played 35 games for the Mariners in the past 2 years. So he's another guy who can't stay
Wasn't
healthy.
kicked out of that game either. They let him play the rest of the game after that incident. I don't know. Usually get tossed for that crap.
Oh my God! Only the minors, right? Only the minors. Oh man, that's great. So speaking of baseball and everything that's going on, you got Masahiro Tanaka with the Yankees. Other than what Joe Girardi said, there really wasn't much news on Tanaka. His injury still is there. He has that problem with the torn ligament in his elbow, which down the road it could most likely lead to Tommy John surgery. And you look at a lot of the players who have come back, more notably so actually would be Adam Wainwright, who is a stud of a pitcher.
He is.
And he had, now also Steven Strasburg had the surgery as well.
did,
He's still
yeah.
a stud,
He's
but he's
still-
not having a great year. But
It's
Wainwright,
going to take a while to get
Wainwright is just tearing it up. And he had the surgery years back.
He did.
All right, and he's someone who also waited. Now, a lot of players wait, and that's what their thing here with Tanaka is, can we wait? The problem with Tanaka is, yeah, he's 25 years old, but he also has 5 bajillion innings under his belt, because that's what he was. He was an innings eater when he played for the Golden Eagles back in Japan. Scheduled to play catcher the next couple of days.
So he's got some wear on that arm.
He does, and all he did was go basically every third day he would pitch, and he would pitch 9 innings, 9 innings, 9 innings, just total innings eater. And he's not a strikeout pitcher, and that's what he was actually when he
Yeah.
came over here, which was odd. But did you hear what happened with Girardi?
No, I didn't.
He so they go up to Toronto, or as they say in Canada, Toronto,
Toronto.
and Toronto. So they go up there and he has a press conference, and they started to talk to him about Tanaka. Why is he not here? Blah, 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 this and that. And Girardi said, "Well, look, I'm going to be honest with you, and I'll tell you straight up. So don't tell me I'm not telling you the truth here. I was not having my player come here. I'm concerned for him and his health." They said, "Well, what are you talking about? Obviously he's injured, but he can be here." And he said, "Not in these facilities. They don't even have this system. They don't have that system. They don't have this." He said the weight room is as
dump.
right, and they say the weight room is as big as a room that we're sitting in. And he was talking about being in the visitor's dugout. He says, "I can't have my guy training in here. My training staff can't come in here and perform the necessary tests that they have to in a facility like this." So we decided to send him back to New
It
York.
was like the Cleveland Indians facilities in Major League.
Major League, yeah.
With the sailboat motor in the
In the jacuzzi with Kobe, yeah.
tub, yeah.
So they sent him back, and he didn't get much grief for it. He was speaking the God's honest truth. So,
let him rehab where he's comfortable here. If he's got to do it here, let him do it here.
do you think Tanaka should come back this year?
Depends on the situation. If they're a couple games out in a couple weeks from now, do you go for it or do you shelf him for the year?
Yeah.
for next year. If you're out of it, if you're 7 games back with 2 weeks to go, I'd obviously say shut them down.
And the way I look at it is, even if they make the playoffs, they're not a playoff team. So I say just shut the guy down. Let him go through his proper rehab, because if you want him to play that role of a pitcher who's going to wait to have the surgery, well, then take the rest of the year off. Take the rest of the year off, go through the proper rehab that you have to go through to get yourself healthy and back up to snuff, up to par, and see what you can do next year. Let him go balls to the walls in, spring training. And if he hurts himself, let him hurt himself spring training. He'll be out. But you can't use him now. Even if they're making a push, I don't think they should use him.
Would you want to make the playoffs with this being Jeter's last year? Would you want to not know when his last game was?
It's true.
Or would you want a finite last game? Like, if you're in the playoffs, you don't know if this is his last game, or Game 5 is going to be his last game, or the next series.
Yeah.
You don't know.
No, you're right.
You don't know if it's the last time you ever see the guy bat.
So you're saying if Tanaka's healthy, throw him in.
If they're close, and it's
Now what's close? Because you're talking about a
I'd say-
division. I mean, they're battling. It's
I
as
know.
if every time the Yankees win, the Orioles, the Mariners,
Are losing. Boston.
Detroit.
Boston's
Nah,
out.
Boston's out.
Yeah.
Detroit, they win. Every time the Yankees win, these teams win, and the Yankees cannot gain ground. Toronto, they can't gain ground on them. So these are the series right here. Now you have 3 or 4 more series before the end of the season where the Yankees are playing Baltimore.
Yeah.
That's what's going to matter most. Aside from right now, they have to play, like I mentioned last week.
How
they
far
have to
out
play
are they in the
600
division?
ball. 3.5.
In the
They-
division?
Yeah.
Okay, so they can get the division title.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Out of the division,
That's
it's
the wild
7.
card.
Sorry, 7. Yeah,
Seven out of
seven.
the division. That's
Which
still-
might be
it's
now
still
8,
catching
depending on what
them
Baltimore
up.
does today.
Yeah.
So they got to play 600 ball. The U.S. Open. I got nothing on the U.S. Open. Is Andre Agassi playing?
No, he's not.
Is Pete Sampras playing?
Unfortunately, no. I wish I. This is we're going tomorrow night, and hopefully we'll.
Monica Seles.
No,
She's still in it?
she got stabbed. No,
Okay.
we're going tomorrow night. We didn't get good draws, I don't think. Really,
Oh,
we checked the
man.
schedule tonight, and
Open for a rain out.
Billie
we're
Jean
hoping
King?
for a rain out tonight, and hopefully Billie Jean. Yeah, she's
Billie
playing.
Jean
But
King,
she's
yeah.
playing the whatchamacallit, the caveman.
John Connors, right?
No, the caveman from the Geico commercials.
The prize money is over $40 million, by the way.
Sick money.
Right? So you're going?
Yeah, we're gonna go tomorrow. It's my first open. I'm excited. I want to see the facility. I'm really excited about it. I'd love to go down.
Let's
to
go Tim
Australia in,
Tebow style.
January
How many
too.
times can you say the word excited in a
Oh,
2-minute press
stoked.
conference?
Stoked.
So let's talk about the match coming up.
Yeah.
The match coming up with the organization, Buffalo Indians. They're playing NYPD. Now, that's going to happen on September 20th.
Yep.
And that's going to be at, where did you say now?
I think it was accidentally promoted to be at University at Buffalo, but it's going to be on a field, a bigger field at a Erie Community College across the way in Williamsville. We have a bunch of sponsors for it. We have where it's going to be a big crowd there. We're promoting with all the local police departments to come out, and they're going to be coming out the whole weekend. The next day is the All-Ireland final, so we're going to be at a restaurant watching that the next morning. So there should be a late night and an early morning that weekend for everybody.
Yeah, we're going up there. I'll be covering the event as well. And,
Yep.
I mean, now that you mentioned the finals on the next day, I'd plan to go golfing. So I'm going to see if we could possibly golf around 2 o'clock.
Yeah. It's
So
an
this
early
way,
vote.
I would love to go there where you said now the NYPD is going to be there watching the game with you guys.
Oh yeah,
So if you're going to have NYPD there and you guys, I would love to be there to cover
Of course.
at the bar what's going on. And you said that's going to be at,
on Sunday morning at 10:30 it start.
but
early,
that's
just
going to
'cause of
be
the time
at-
change difference.
But where's that going to be now too?
Fat Bob's.
Fat Bob's, that's right.
Smokehouse.
It's
in
awesome.
lovely Allentown, New York.
Right, I went to Fat Bob's 2 years ago actually, and Yep, that's my response. That's my response. It was
It's a must go to.
Oh my god, it's amazing. When I go there, I'm gonna wear the shirt up there. I don't
The
care.
macaroni and cheese.
I'm gonna treat it like a sports arena where I'm gonna wear my favorite team's jersey. I'm wearing a Fat Bob shirt to Fat Bob's. But so I'm looking forward to this event coming up where you guys are playing the NYPD. It's
Yep.
gonna be an exhibition match.
Yep.
And now Connor, your coach, Connor Hawkins, you say he may be playing or may not be? Because
He might play with us, actually. We have to see.
he's a player coach.
Yeah, he's played with us. He was a teammate of ours, and then he took over the reins of coach when he had to. When we didn't have anyone who wanted to do it, he took over for us and led us to where we are right now.
And now you
The
have
level of play we're at, and
then Patrick Walsh, your pro, and
he actually
and Paul
coached us this
Mulcair.
weekend. Connor couldn't make it out. Patrick substitute coached, and he did a marvelous job managing us to where we were at this weekend.
I can definitely see that. I can
Yeah,
definitely see that. So now that weekend, September 20th, when you guys play LMPD, the same time you have Patrick Walsh and Paul Mulcair. They're going over to Ireland.
They are for the All Ireland football final
Right.
in Croke Park in Dublin. I was there last year for that game against Dublin and Mayo, and it was one of the not one of the top sporting events of my life, but it was up there. I mean, it was just the fact that those guys play for nothing, just for the pride of where they're from.
Sure.
And the people that just go there, 80,000 people just to see an amateur event is just amazing.
I was going to say, because you guys, thank you very much again. You guys invited me up for the 6th annual Buffalo Finians golf outing, and I came up there. We had a ball
that drive
at the time. Oh my God, that drive you had on the par 4. Yeah, it was a par 4.
Par 5 that was.
Was that
wasn't
par
it?
5?
Dog to the
No, I think it was a par 4
Right,
because
it was a 4, yeah.
it was a par 4, sharp as all balls, dog leg right, and you just decided, F it, I'm going right over.
Yeah.
And you went straight over the trees, and the three of us back there were just like, no way. We're looking for your shot, and next thing we know, you're in the golf cart already halfway down. I'll be right back.
Well, no, you guys set me up, see where it went. Let's
And you came back.
to drive.
Come on, let's go. Get in.
Center
I
fairway.
mean, you had no balls in the cart to even pretend like you hit that shot. It was right there, and it was your shot that you then took after that, your approach shot.
Approach shot, I think.
And you were within, 6 feet?
Yeah.
And it was your friend's wife who nailed the putt.
Yeah, she drained it from about 12 feet out. I mean,
that was the fastest I've ever
hole.
played. Yeah, it was awesome.
I don't want to talk about my other 17 holes.
No. But anyway, so you guys brought me up there, and I was ever so thankful. We had a
Gave you
bowl
some
at the time.
potato.
Oh my God, the best chips in the world.
Potato chips
Best
on
chips
the
in the
air.
world. Yeah. But yes, I was talking to Padre in the parking lot beforehand, and he was mentioning that, Jimmy, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be here with you guys for the match with MIPD. I says, oh wow, what's going on? He says, well, that's the weekend that he's going over for the All Ireland finals. I says, oh man, you got to be here. I says, he was talking to me about it, and that's when he said, not only is it an event where you get 80,000 plus fans in the arena, but you have upwards of 40,000 people
outside. And everyone had signs, I need tickets, I need tickets.
So you're talking anywhere from 120, and he says upwards, I'd say 120 to 150,000 people at an event. I mean, you don't get that here for anything.
Nothing, no.
I think the big house here is 109,000.
College, but even those college games, you don't see that many people just at the pubs around.
Sure.
This stadium's in the middle of a city, surrounded by houses and pubs, and there's people at these pubs.
So it's heaven.
It's and unfortunately, I mean, not unfortunately, I was pulling for the other side last year, but Dublin won the title last year, and being in Dublin for that championship was just everyone is in the streets. It was. I didn't go to the parade because I won't go to a parade ever unless it's a Buffalo team, but
yeah. So you've never been to a parade your whole life?
Never been to a championship parade ever, and I'm never going to go to one in another city unless it's a Buffalo team and it's here in Buffalo on Delaware Avenue.
Oh man! All right. Well, I don't know any parades you'll ever get to go.
But this year, I want to talk to you about the games this year. Mayo. Saturday, yesterday they played.
Where are you playing?
Drills.
What state?
Practicing at the.
No idea.
Oh, this is the practice facility.
Yeah.
That's nicer than the stadium.
They have practice facilities
pretty
on the
cool.
video games.
I like that.
But,
so yeah, we got some upcoming games.
I want to just talk about the semifinals for the All Ireland. County Mayo played County Kerry yesterday, and the only reason they played yesterday is they played the week before, and the game ended in a draw at the end of regulation. And
now when they go to a tie, how does it work? I mean, you're gonna get a winner.
Unfortunately, there's no the first time there's no extra time in an All Ireland championship game or a semifinal, quarterfinal.
Does extra time work the same way as it does in soccer?
No, if they come to a draw at the end of regulation on the first game, there's no overtime, they play the following week again, a whole other game. They do a replay.
My God.
If it's the championship game, they do a replay. They'll play the game over again.
Write that in there, or they'll wait?
They'll wait a week. They'll play the game again, maybe a week or 2 weeks away. They'll reschedule. They play a second game.
Hey, soccer, are you listening to this? This is how you treat extra time. You play again.
You play another game again if it means something. Mayo and Kerry played Saturday, and the game ended up in the second game. The replay ended up drawing it level at the end of full time. Now they're going to play extra time. Mm-hmm. They got 10 minutes, 2 10-minute halves in extra time. And Kerry pulled away at the very end, and they beat Mayo and knocked Mayo out of the championships. But if that game ended in a draw, they would have played again.
Jesus.
And then that would have backed up they would have changed the date of the All-Ireland final. They would have backed that up a week, and everything gets changed up with this. The last 2 hurling championships were replayed. The last 2 championship games tied and then to be replayed, and then they get all that revenue again. The GAA loves it.
Oh yeah,
they get a second Super Bowl basically.
Oh my God. Oh yeah. Well, any other games?
No, that's it. The championship game is going to be Donegal and Kerry on the 21st of September, and we'll be down at the pub.
We'll be down there watching the game. Yeah.
Pub watching that. Yeah.
I want to thank you for coming on tonight. In which, unfortunately, I don't have it wrapped, but. Got you a nice bottle for yourself.
You. Oh, the spice. Thank you very much.
So you can drink that all tonight.
Thank you.
So yeah, it was a pleasure having you on tonight. So
yeah,
thanks for coming out here. You're in town, and it's a hike to get out of here.
I was on, like I said, I was on the phone, and I wanted, I was told you if I'm ever in town, if you want to talk.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll get into a rant here. I'm gonna start the rant. It's gonna be a little bit brief because actually the closing rant is going to be by Mr. Antonio Grazzi here, and we'll let him know when he can start in there.
And I can't swear, right?
You can't swear.
Well, you can tell everybody. Yeah, you can tell everybody. Go ahead and tell everybody. I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man. Yes I am, yes I am, yes I am. I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man.
You gotta pay these guys money every time you play a song.
Let's not talk about it too loud. I don't want them to hear them using it. So I made a rant. It's gonna be back in the not the 10 show. Our 10 show is a road show at Old Street Pub in Smithtown, but 11, 12, right around there. I made a rant about going to a grocery store and a woman saying, I let a woman go in front of me, and next thing I know, her kid comes along when she had 2 things, and the kid had 10,000 items, and she still insists on going in front of me. I want to backtrack, though, because I'm going back to that same store. I went there yesterday. Only this time, the problem was on the outside, and this just goes to show the problem that I have with people. And I hate people. They really piss me off. They know to push on buttons. The parking lot was absolutely packed. It was mobbed. I had nowhere to possibly go. And I just want to park as soon as possible because people decide not only to drive out from every corner, but walk out from every corner and never look. Well, there's a space available. And now there's a woman coming in front of my car with a shopping cart. And it's empty. I'm thinking, oh, she's going into the store with a shopping cart. No. She's taking that shopping cart and she's putting it in the middle of the space that I want to go park in. I'm stopped. I have my signal on. That's where I want to go. So now I'm sitting there. She puts her cart there. I've got my arm on the armrest, shaking my head, and she stares at me. And my window is open. I'd like to say something, but I'm not going to. And she looks at me, and she goes, as if I'm letting her walk. Oh, thank you. But for what? Get your freaking cart! Nope, okay. So I do a half pull in, slam my door, and I just say out loud, some people. And she turns around, excuse me? Have a good day, man. And I take the cart and I launch into the parking lot. People piss me off. There's stupidity and just lack of generosity when they see others in parking lots. When they know parking lots are the worst places to be. I don't know. But, a rant is all about things that piss you off.
Yeah.
And I know you want to do a rant here. And I know there's something that pisses you off. And my song was that and this is going to be your song.
If it's about
Something that, because no, I don't have that. But I know you don't like this song.
Oh, yeah. It's catchy. It's too catchy. That's why I don't like it. But my John Bon Jovi. I mean, all he accomplished was basically everybody in Western New York hated him. He had no chance of owning an NFL team, let alone the Bills. Basically, he alienated Southern Erie, Ontario. The Southern Canadians don't want the Bills to go to Toronto either. They have more fun in Buffalo. He hated it. So, good job. The only thing that I don't like is when I tell people I hate John Bon Jovi now, they tell me to get with the times because everybody else hated him about 20 years ago. So now I feel like I'm living in a cave still because of that. But good luck in your future attempt to own an NFL team, John, and try buying the Jacksonville Jaguars maybe and move them to London or something. I don't know.
Well, that's when what's his face will get involved. Goodell will get involved and say, "Yeah, come on, let's go."
Yeah.
Not a problem. So again, I want to thank you for coming on. I had a great time. I hope you enjoyed yourself. And we got ourselves here our first hour show since when Steve was back on the air with us. So
I was going to say, if you want to call me Steve the entire time to make you feel more comfortable, you could have.
I could call you Steve, but like 10 seconds, 20 seconds. So again, hope you enjoy the show tonight. We'll be back again. We'll be back this Tuesday night with another special. We'll be coming up and covering all sorts of events. U.S. Open. I'll try to follow that up. We got some football conversation coming up. NFL Week 1 is not this weekend.
No?
Next weekend.
It is.
Next weekend.
Oh, shit. That's
Anyways,
right.
thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Everybody knows it's gonna be one of those. I can drink